Hello and welcome to Vice Film. Today we will explain a musical fantasy film called Aladdin. Warning, spoilers ahead. Watch at your own risk. This movie is all about Aladdin, a good-hearted street urchin who competes for the affections of Jasmine, the stunning princess of Agrabah. She uses the genie's magic to transform himself into a prince in order to marry her after discovering a magic lamp. He also has a mission to stop the powerful Jafar, who is planning to steal the magical lamp that holds the power to grant any wish. The movie begins on a boat in the middle of the ocean, where a mariner is sailing with his wife and two kids, Omar and Leon. He begins to narrate a story to the kids about a street rat, a princess, and a magic lamp. Since he can tell stories better through song, the children request that he sings. So he sings Arabian Night and leads us to the kingdom of Agrabah. We first meet Aladdin in the marketplace of Agrabah, where he lives alone and his pet monkey Abu and makes his living by being cunning and scrounging. He gives a bag of dates to a family that is in need of food more than he is, after pawning off a small item to obtain them. Princess Jasmine takes some food from a stand and distributes it to young children elsewhere in the market while posing as a commoner. The proprietor of the shop tried to punish Jasmine for it, but Aladdin stepped in and paid for the food using Jasmine's bracelet. But before the owner realizes what has happened and dispatches the palace guards to find Aladdin, he quickly swipes the bracelet back and replaces it. Then, he and Jasmine sprint through the marketplace until they get to Aladdin's lair, where he has a stunning view of the city. Aladdin says he wants out of his shop, and Jasmine, who is still keeping her identity a secret, also says she wants out. Jasmine tries to leave when they return to the market, but she is missing her bracelet because Abu took it. Because it was her mother's bracelet, she is angry and storms off after accusing Aladdin of robbing her. Guards riding horses enter the palace shortly after and nearly knock some young children to the ground before Aladdin enters and taunts a guard. In retaliations, he calls Aladdin nothing more than a street rat who will perish by himself. In the palace, Jasmine and her father, the Sultan, meet Prince Anders of Scanlan, a prospective suitor for Jasmine. With Raja, her pet tiger, she frightens him away. The Sultan is annoyed by Jasmine's rejections of suitors because Scanlan could have been a useful ally. But Jasmine doesn't want to be married because she is more concerned with running the country and transforming Agrabah so that she can better the lives of others. The Sultan's vizier, Jafar, wants to persuade him to send their armies to invade Jasmine's mother kingdom of Shurabat in the meantime. When Jasmine enters, Jafar tries to hypnotize the Sultan with his snake staff, but it is unsuccessful, and the Sultan tells Jafar to stay where he is. Iago quickly alerts Jafar to Aladdin's entrance into the palace. Aladdin, who still believes Jasmine is merely a handmaiden, while her best friend, an actual handmaiden Dahlia, is the princess, sneaks past the guards to attempt to return her bracelet. Aladdin must be sent away by Jasmine, but he promises to return the following night. Jafar and the guards capture him, but while doing so, he talks to Aladdin and makes an effort to win him over by demonstrating how he was once a street rat who became powerful. Aladdin also learns that Jasmine is the princess and that he can make him rich enough to win her favor. Aladdin asks what he has to do. They reach the cave by evening, and because Aladdin is the diamond in the rough, he is allowed to enter the cave without danger. Both Aladdin and Abu are tempted by the amazing treasuries of the Cave of Wonders. They have been cautioned, however, to only find the lamp and not to be seduced by the treasure, for failure to do so would result in their being stranded in the cave for all time. Along the way, they encounter a magic carpet and discover the lamp. Abu, however, is seduced and accepts a large shiny ruby. The cave spirit becomes enraged by this and begins to cave in. With Carpet's assistance, Aladdin and Abu just make it back, but after Jafar steals the lamp and betrays him, they become trapped in the cave. Abu, who is imprisoned inside the cave, confesses that he took the lamp back from Jafar. Aladdin gives the lamp a rub after noticing it's a little dusty. As long as he is holding the lamp, the powerful genie that is released as a result of this can grant him 3 wishes. Aladdin makes a wish to leave the cave, and he, Genie, Abu, and Carpet all end up in the middle of the desert as a result. Aladdin wants to become a prince so that he can be with Princess Jasmine after realizing Genie's potential. He is changed into Prince Ali by the genie, and they proceed to the Sultan's palace, while Sultan greets them. Meanwhile, in the palace, Aladdin, being Prince Ali and trying to impress Jasmine, can be awkward at first, especially when Genie makes Aladdin perform a stunning dance in front of the princess. She doesn't even seem impressed, she just walks away. Jafar meanwhile develops doubts about Prince Ali. Aladdin, then makes the decisions to go to Jasmine's room while Genie takes Dahlia for a late-night stroll. Aladdin takes Jasmine on a magic carpet ride simply by being himself, and the two of them end up becoming close. While observing the villagers from above, Jasmine recognizes Ali as Aladdin, but he is able to persuade her that he is actually a prince who disguises himself as a commoner in order to avoid the rigors of the palace. The two then share their first kiss as he drives Jasmine back to the palace. The following day, Aladdin, who has realized who he really is however captured by Jafar. If he doesn't tell him where the lamp is, he'll threaten to throw him in jail. Jafar personally pushes Aladdin out of his tower and into the water after he denies everything. Aladdin is able to rub the lamp before drowning, then Abu and Carpet bring it. In the next scene, Aladdin is saved by the genie, and after talking to Jasmine, they confront the Sultan of Jafar's betrayals. Jafar tries to convince the Sultan that they are lying by hypnotizing him, but Aladdin destroys his staff and shows the Sultan that Jafar is a liar. After receiving the keys from his parrot's sidekick Iago, he is taken to the dungeon but manages to escape. Meanwhile, the Sultan is grateful to Aladdin for exposing Jafar's betrayal and is eager for him to wed his daughter. Aladdin concludes that he cannot continue to be a prince without Genie and decides not to use his final wish to free him, as he had promised. Genie withdraws to his lamp after being disappointed by Aladdin's desire to keep up his lie. Aladdin visits his childhood home and spends some time reflecting before realizing the Genie is correct. The truth must be revealed to Jasmine. He suddenly realizes the lamp has vanished and it is in Jafar's possession. Now with Jafar ruling as a sultan, when the guards don't follow his orders, he uses his second wish to turn into a sorcerer. If Jasmine won't agree to marry him, he threatens to kill Dahlia and the Sultan and banishes Aladdin to the ends of the earth. Aladdin and Abu are sought after by the genie using a carpet. As they continue the wedding ceremony, Jasmine notices Aladdin entering the room on the carpet. She participates in the wedding, and when she is close enough to Jafar, she takes the lamp from him and leaps onto the floor. Iago is sent after them by Jafar, who transforms him into a huge parrot. During the chase, they nearly lose the lamp but manage to recover it. Iago reclaims it, but when the Sultan halts Jafar's sorcery on him, he loses it. He reverts to being a typical parrot. Aladdin and Jasmine are eventually captured by a sand twister that Jafar summons to bring back to him. Now that he has them under his control, Jafar claims to be the most powerful person on earth. Aladdin responds by saying Jafar is not as strong as he would have you believe. Because he gave Jafar his power in the first place and has the ability to take it away, the genie continues to be the most potent entity in the universe. Jafar uses his last wish to transform into an all-powerful genie after realizing that what Aladdin says is accurate and that he is still only second best. When the genie learns of Aladdin's clever scheme, he grants his wish, transforming Jafar into a monstrously potent genie. Jafar claims to be the universe's ruler thanks to his incredible cosmic power. Aladdin, on the other hand, noted that there's a cost associated with the genie's power. Jafar is given a set of golden chains and a lamp prison that sucks him and Iago inside. Jafar's magic over Agrabah is ruined by his own greed, which also traps him. Jafar and Iago would be compelled to spend many years as prisoners in the Cave of Wonders, where Genie sends Jafar's lamp flying. Aladdin apologizes to Jasmine and the Sultan for tricking them and is about to leave when Genie prompts him to use his final wish to either become a prince once more or repeal the rule that states that a prince must wed a princess. Aladdin chooses to release the Genie though, by granting his final wish. Genie decides to spend his free time traveling the world with his new love Dahlia and starting a family. In the end, the Sultan has made the decisions to crown Jasmine as the new ruler of Agrabah. Aladdin, who continues to believe Jasmine is the better choice, sneaks away unnoticed in the meantime, but when she finds him, they embrace and later get married. The end.